Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Wadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS, who rules well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Sedition and Division. And that's exactly what's happening here in America, right? And all over the world, right? This is happening all over the place. Different people are coming up against their government rulers, but it basically goes back to what America is doing because of what Israel is requesting. Right, the world is falling apart because Israel is dragging out Babylon the Great, which is America, to this world's war, which will be World War III. And America is doing the bidding of Israel, right? And basically, it's just causing problems in the planet, right? Because Israel is trying to get this greater Israel, thing going on, and basically they need America to help them get it. So it's just a lot of division. You had recently in the White House, Saudi in the White House, Trump gave Saudi F-35, jet, and Saudi is a part of that. Their land is a part of the Israel's greater Israel agenda. So what you have is a lot of division going on. You have a lot of sedition going on, right? So this is all in the news, and we're here. We're living in a time now where these things are taking place, right? They end, and ultimately war, right? So sedition and division, I typed in there right here. It says sedition is the act of inciting rebellion against the established authority. The current established authority will be the Republican Party, that of Nero 47, right? They're currently in control. It says while division refers to the act of causing a group to split into factions. In that group, the Republican Party, the MAGAs have split into factions, right? You have the MAGAs that are for the situation regarding Israel and Trump. You have the MAGAs that are not for that situation regarding Israel and Trump. And that's spilling over to, the former military officials and things like that. So check this video out right here.
President Trump accused a group of Democrat lawmakers of sedition and said it was punishable by death.
It was in response to a video posted by 6 Democrats who are veterans calling on the military to defy any what they call illegal orders if they come from the White House. Fox's Connor Hansen reports.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
This is the clip circulating on social media featuring 6 Democrats who served in the military or intelligence community. The lawmakers say the Trump administration is pitting the military against American citizens. President Trump took to Truth Social to condemn the video, writing, quote, "Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." The president then added, seditious behavior punishable by death.
He is throwing a match into a country filled with political extreme gasoline. It is dangerous. It is devastating.
Democrats have been critical of the use of the National Guard and U.S. troops in American cities like Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. They're also concerned about recent deadly strikes on alleged drug boats and the military buildup in the South Caribbean.
Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible positions. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation, because then it'll be too late.
Right. So what we have here is division, right? The commander in chief is, issuing 4 commands, and the people are not happy about it. All right. This is Matthew 12. And you just get to the point. Matthew 12 and 25, it says, "And Yahweh Shah knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Right? And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." And we're already seeing that some military officials are stepping down. Right? And that was from their Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He told them to do that. Right? He went to the generals. He was saying, look, if y'all not about what I'm talking about, then you could step down. Even Donald Trump himself said, if you don't, if you're not about what I'm talking about, then you can leave the room. And then he said, well, but there goes your career and livelihood or something like that, right? Matthew 12:25, it says, and Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right. So we understand that this kingdom is at its end. Right. The end has manifested itself, and we're seeing the effects and signs of that. And Satan is adversary, and this devil is a complete adversary to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right. He goes against the words of the Bible. Right. You can even see at the hub Amalek over there in our land, in the land of Israel, how they have pink city and kosher swine. Right. And that's totally against the Bible, the LGBT community, and the eating of the swine, right?
White House is pushing back.
We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do.
Levitt says the president does not want anyone to be executed. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 4.
Right. So this is sedition, right? These are things that we have preached, right? And it's here now. And these devils want it, right? Because they want to bring about their new world order. And ultimately it will come, right? So we're blowing the trumpet and showing you the signs, right? Which are the prophecies, and they're here, right? And they're pushing for this. Right. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you can look at what's happening right now with the Maggers. For example, you have the Maggers splitting between one side is for Trump and Israel, and the other side is for America first. You have this dude, I believe it's Nick Fuentes or whatever the case may be, right? He's totally against, the JOO establishment and what Donald Trump is doing. And you have Maggers following him. All right. And then you have the Maggers that stand true to Nero 47, and these individuals could pew each other, right? It says verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. And that's what we're seeing right now, today, in the news, right? That clip I just showed you was posted 3 hours ago. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're not going to care about, the lawyers, the mayors, the kings, the princes, or anything like that. They're gonna try to do what they have to do, basically, regarding sedition, right? They're telling some people are saying Nero 47 should step down, right? And while others are saying that the other people should just shut the fuck up, It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that goes into the military, given these different orders. You have the National Guard troops or whatever been set up in all of the states, rapid response teams been set up for something special, right? It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. You can look at what's happening over there in Mexico right now. All right, this, and it's happening all over the world, right? And it's gonna hit America because the Great Reset that they're trying to bring in. A lot of these, these different laws and things has been set up on purpose to bring about, their new world order, right? Isaiah 10:1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. This has always been their plan. Right now, you're seeing it coming to light because of this technology. Greater Israel, 2030 agenda, 2025 agendas. With all these different agendas that people's like, oh no, that's a conspiracy theory. It's not true, and now it's seen to be true, and people are upset about it. And Job 20 says that the people, every hand of the wicked shall come upon them, which represents the people, and that's exactly what's happening, right? So, and that's why they're divided. It's not, it's not as easy, but they operate order out of chaos. Okay. says Isaiah 10:2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's exactly what they're doing, you know. But, you know, the cities and everything are troubled. So when I was getting this video, you know, that's pretty much all I had. But I seen this, and this is more of the story. It was posted 36 minutes ago, and they're doubling down and saying, you know, I'm not gonna.
First of all, I don't do fear well. Very clearly, Donald Trump is trying to intimidate and make.
Right. So he's saying, I will not allow Donald Trump to silence me. So this is going forward, basically. You know, that wasn't it. He's coming back and responding now. Donald Trump is going to see this, most likely, and probably do some more posts over here.
First of all, I don't do fear well. Very clearly, Donald Trump is trying to intimidate and make us afraid, so we won't stand up and fight for the Constitution and the rule of law. He's wrong. You know, those of us who made those statements have all taken oaths to this country in uniform and as national security professionals. Those are lifetime oaths, and I intend to keep mine. And what that oath requires, not only that I stand up for the Constitution myself, but that I ensure that others are doing the same, that our men and women in uniform, that officers, that civil servants that have taken that oath and have that obligation are constantly reminded of what their duty is. And their duty is to the Constitution and not the Donald Trump. So I'm gonna take these threats seriously. I'm gonna protect myself and those around me, but I will not allow Donald Trump to silence me and to stop my dissent and stop my opposition.
As you can see, he took those threats seriously. He's going to protect those himself and those around him. Well, what the modern day sword, you know, or however he can do. But I mean, what else would you think to what he's saying, you know?
To his lawlessness.
Congressman, I understand that this is much bigger than you and the other members of Congress who chose to stand up to the president in that video and stand up on behalf of service members. But given that you are now in his crosshairs in this political environment, have you received any threats since the president issued that warning? And when we talk about increased security for you, for your family, what's that going to look like?
Yeah, I have received a lot of threats. I'm not going to go into, you know, my family and what the security measures are gonna look like. That's something that we're gonna do just with me and my staff. But listen, I'm a paratrooper. I'm used to being behind enemy lines and being surrounded. This is exactly where I want to be. And to lead in this moment right now requires that we say what needs to be said, that we be bold and we be unafraid. Right? Fear is contagious, but so is courage. So I will not be cowed by this president.
Congressman, you had, in addition to the response from the president, you also had a response from the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. I'd like you to take a moment to listen to what he had to say today.
What I will say unequivocally is that was a wildly inappropriate thing for so-called leaders in Congress to do, to encourage young troops to disobey orders. I mean, think of what the threat that is to our national security and what it means to our institutions.
So, you know, hey, you know, we're here, you know, so just blowing the trumpet on this, they're basically at war. All right, they're at war with each other now. Okay, so you know, hey, so you just blowing the trumpet on that. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.